What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today we are back with another offseason rebuild. Today we are doing a team we never did, the only team we haven't done that did not make the playoffs or the play-in tournament, that being the New York Knicks. Before we get into today's video though, guys, if you could drop a like on this video and subscribe if you're new around here, that would be absolutely greatly appreciated. Guys, support has been overwhelming lately, so keep it up. Thank you guys, man, I appreciate it. But the New York Knicks are an interesting team. Obviously, the whole Julius Randle debacle will be the story this offseason, whether they decide to keep Randle or if they find a way to trade him. We'll see if we can do that. Kemba Walker's contract is somebody have to figure out as well. But regardless, let's go ahead and simulate the playoffs, and let's see who wins the championship here, as we have the Memphis Grizzlies going on to beat the Bucks in 7. Shout out to the Grizzlies. But let's get it. So draft lottery time is where this video is going to start, obviously. So if we can get lucky in the lottery, I mean that would be awesome. That just kind of helps out this rebuild. But if not, then we'll just go from wherever we need to go. So let's go ahead and start. Cavaliers have pick number 14. Do we get lucky? So we're not going to have the Hornets pick because it is lottery protected. So Cleveland does not jump up from 14. We are projected pick 11, so I don't know if we're going to stick at 11 or jump up into the top 4. Again, that could have been our pick, but it was lottery protected, so we don't get it. So 12 pick, we got Thunder via the Clippers, and we are going to be getting, okay, the Thunder get number 12. All right, so pick number 11. Do we jump up into the top 4 is the question. Do we get lucky? 2% chance. And no, we are sticking at pick number 11, which is totally fine. It's a lottery pick. So just like that, the Spurs get number 1, Thunder get number 2, and Oklahoma City gets number 3. We have pick number 11. Okay, not too bad. Staff signing, we have Tom Thibodeau as head coach. I don't think he'll be fired. He hasn't been fired yet, so I imagine he won't be going anywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this coaching staff out real quick, and we could continue to dive in on what we're going to do this offseason to make this Knicks roster better. So now that we have our staff completely filled out, let's talk about the challenges and what the Knicks are going to try to accomplish this offseason. So obviously they went from a team that was surprising, made the playoffs, were exciting, but of course they ended up losing the first round to the Atlanta Hawks. So the next year there was expectations for the team to get back into the postseason, and they did not. Julius Randle kind of fell off a little bit, went from his all-star season to falling off quite a bit. And they extended him, and yeah, he didn't play so well this last season. So there was also some times where they saw a lot of arguing on the sideline, Randle getting mad, stuff like that. So we really don't know what Julius Randle's future is going to be on the Knicks. I know a lot of Knicks fans want him gone, so I am going to try to trade him today, I think, but I wouldn't be surprised if I found a way to keep him, to be honest with you. His contract is massively large, so it's not going to be the easiest to get rid of him. And then obviously every offseason the Knicks are always interested and rumored in the next star who becomes available. And of course this offseason it's kind of like Donovan Mitchell on the Jazz, which would be fun to go get Donovan Mitchell if we can. The Knicks do have the assets to do it. So one thing about the Knicks and having all these rumors where they're going to get all these guys, obviously before it was the Kyrie, the Kevin Durant, the Zion Williamson offseason that never happened to get any of them. But the Knicks do have assets, so there is a little bit of truth to the rumor if they're able to pull it off. Like if Mitchell did request a trade, the Knicks do have the ammunition to make some trade and sweeten the deal for the Jazz. So I really do think we could maybe pull that off. So I am going to attempt that. That is going to be my first thing I try to do today. Can we get Donovan Mitchell from the Utah Jazz? Now, I know I've tried this in previous videos, but the Knicks and Donovan Mitchell, that's like a real rumor that's been kind of talked about. So if we can get it, and that's also been kind of talked about, like Mitchell to the Heat as well. So maybe that's something that happens. But for the Knicks, if they could pull off a way of getting Donovan Mitchell, that'd be awesome. So you got to think about it. So you have RJ Barrett, which I assume the Knicks would try to do the trade without trading him, which I'm going to try to do that as well, because they have a plethora of young players they could throw in this trade, like Reddish, Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, Amanda Quickly. There's a lot they could do here. I imagine Amanda Quickly would have to be in the trade. So Amanda Quickly is going to be the start of the trade. We're going to need a salary filler. I mean, I don't know if the Jazz would really want Julius Randle's contract, so I'm not going to throw Julius Randle in there. Evan Fournier would have to be like the salary filler. And then you have like Cameron Reddish, who at times wasn't even in the rotation. So Cameron Reddish. And then I have this 11th pick overall, obviously, I got from the lottery. And then I have this 2024 pick from the Knicks. And then we could throw this Mavericks top 10 protected. So it is a 2-star trade value for both of these. So not a terrible trade. So basically the Jazz walk away with 3 first-round picks and 2 young players out of the trade. I don't know if the Jazz would accept this, and they do not accept it. So they are not interested in the trade, but they didn't totally say they want to do it. So maybe we just got to make the trade a little bit better. So instead of Evan Fournier, or maybe instead of this pick, maybe throw in a different young player, Quentin Grimes. 2-star trade value. So maybe that makes it just enough. So 2 picks, 3 young players. Evan Fournier as a salary filler for D. Mitchell. They don't accept that. I thought for sure that might go through. And then last but not least, okay, let's try this instead. Let's try this. So let's say we did throw Julius Randle in this trade, and then all my picks are unprotected for the future, right? So with that, we can throw that 2023 Charlotte Hornets unprotected as well. So these 3 future picks, so Julius Randle in the trade, these 3 picks, Reddish quickly. So Julius Randle obviously is a huge salary they're taking on, but they do get 3 picks and 2 really solid young players out of the deal, and then they could decide what they want to do with Rudy Gobert. So this is my final offer. They do not accept it, then we're moving on. And just like that, we get Donovan Mitchell from the Utah Jazz. So again, it would be tough for the Jazz really want Julius Randle, but the Knicks really accomplish what they want there. They get rid of Julius Randle and they get Mitchell in the same exact trade. I tried to do it without Julius Randle, but if the Knicks could pull off Donovan Mitchell in that way, I think they could do it without Randle. Again, they have a lot of young assets to do it. So I like that trade, and we get the star that the Knicks have been searching for so damn long. They thought they might have gotten at Kemba Walker. That obviously didn't pan out all that well. But now we have an interesting team. So no more Julius Randle. We still kept Evan Fournier. We have Mitch Robinson, who's a free agent. So if we look at the team right now as it stands, you have Kemba Walker, Derrick Rose. You have Donovan Mitchell and Evan Fournier, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Alec Burks, Obi Toppin, and you have Mitch Robinson or Nerlens Noel, which I think I want to resign Mitchell Robinson back. Obi Toppin, you know, we could start at power forward if we need to. RJ will probably continue to start at small forward. And then Evan Fournier, Mitchell will probably be our starters. I don't really know if I want to start. If I moved Mitchell to point guard, he's actually a 90 overall. So if I played Mitchell at the point, which wouldn't be bad, and then Evan Fournier starting 2, and then RJ starting 3. So yeah, now we're just kind of really looking for a power forward. So we got what we wanted. We do have a 2nd round pick as well out of that trade. So we still have a 2nd round pick after that is all said and done and getting Donovan Mitchell. So yeah, I kind of accomplished the big thing the Knicks would love to accomplish, and the Jazz got quite a bit of young players out of it. And if they did keep Gobert, they could technically stay competitive with Julius Randle and Gobert as their front court. Don't know how well that would succeed, but hey, they could definitely stay competitive with it. So I'm gonna grab a backup shooting guard and Trevor Keels here, 6'4" guard, because obviously we kind of lost some depth by trading Emmanuel quickly away. Let me know, Knicks fans, would you do that trade? And if you're a Jazz fan watching this, let me know if you do that trade as well. But regardless, qualifying offers, Luka Samanic is a free agent. And then, again, our big free agent is Mitchell Robinson. I do want him back. And then we need to find a way to get, like, better at the power forward spot. So Kemba Walker, don't really know what the Knicks plan on doing with him. I imagine they don't plan on keeping him. I could really just see them releasing him or finding a way to trading him. I mean, I don't really know. I feel like a team like using Kemba Walker as a 6-man could definitely find use for him. So we'll find a way to probably trade Kemba Walker. It's not like he's a total scrub. It's just defensively, he's not all there, obviously. But Evan Fournier, Keels, I like. RJ Barrett, Burks, I'm fine with. But my starting power forward spot, I'm not totally happy with. And then I do like Mitch Robinson at center. So I'm going to sign Mitch Robinson back to be my center. And then, again, the big thing is, I don't know if we have like a full mid-level. We get like Bruce Brown, we get Derrick Jones, we get Covington, Stanley Johnson, Otto Porter. Those guys are solid, but not really what I'm looking for. So I think I'm going to try to use Kemba Walker in a trade to get like a power forward here, just to continue to be aggressive this offseason. Now we get Donovan Mitchell and RJ Barrett kind of as our stars. So let's see if we could get a power forward on this roster that's only making around like 9 million, give or take. So think of this as a trade that was supposed to be part of that other trade, basically. So let's say we're trading with the Jazz again to get Royce O'Neal, who would just be a beautiful throw-in, and we could get him from Utah. We trade Kemba Walker to them. So basically, yeah, that's what we're doing, offering that. So the Jazz get Kemba Walker. So basically the Jazz, if you look at it, they have now Mike Conley and Kemba Walker. They now have Jordan Clarkson still. They still have Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert. So they could technically still be an interesting team. But I mean, I don't know how good they would really be. But regardless, the Jazz got some young pieces out of it as well. But we get Royce O'Neal. I really wish I would have just included him in the Utah trade, to be honest with you, that Donovan Mitchell trade, because that'd be a beautiful throw-in for the Knicks to get. Just another guy that could play power forward for us. So I like that a lot. Or, I mean, he is undersized, but obviously he plays defense decently enough. Then we could move RJ there as well, but Royce O'Neal will probably have to be the starter because it is what it is. But Mitch Robinson, Nerlens Noel, RJ Barrett, Evan Fournier, and Donovan Mitchell, and then Derrick Rose as the 6-man. So yeah, that is going to be the roster, really. So we could probably get like another player here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we technically have a full rotation. Our backup shooting guard spot could be better, or our wing spot could be better. So Josh Hart, if the Portland Trailblazers did release him, I mean, I feel like the Knicks should jump all over that. Connaughton, Eric Gordon, but I'm going to go for Josh Hart. If he was a free agent, I mean, you get him, I think. So we're going to bring Josh Hart as a backup shooting guard for this Knicks team as well. And that is going to be the offseason for the Knicks. So we get rid of Randall and we get Donovan Mitchell in the same exact trade. So now it is a Donovan Mitchell, RJ Barrett duo with Mitchell Robinson, Burks, and then Derrick Rose going down quite a bit is a little unfortunate. Josh Hart going down. Damn, the whole roster just went down overall besides our 2 best players, really. So really unfortunate. Not sure why Mitchell Robinson goes down. Alec Burks, that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Derrick Rose could be used as like a trade at the trade deadline, making $14 million. So we do have a little bit more future draft picks if we want to continue to mortgage our future for this team right now. So there is a possibility of stopping the trade deadline to make this team better. But if we look at the rotation going into this season, this Knicks roster, you have Donovan Mitchell, Quentin Grimes as a starting shooting guard, which I'm not totally opposed to, RJ Barrett, Royce O'Neal, Mitchell Robinson, Derrick Rose as your 6-man, Josh Hart, Obi Toppin, and then Evan Fournier. So yeah, not too bad. I think the only thing, well, I guess our defense is our proficiency is probably defense. That's probably why Quentin Grimes is starting, right? So if we change, is that post-centric would be, no, perimeter-centric. So let's move this to a perimeter-centric system under Tom Thibodeau, unless you have to put Evan Fournier in, because I was just like Evan Fournier out there for his spacing a little bit more. So let's get Tom Thibodeau moved to perimeter-centric. See if that changes it at all. Yeah, Josh Hart now starts, which I guess that's fine too. He'd be better defensively, space the floor a little bit. So yeah, not too bad. Proficiency-wise, we're 3.5 perimeter-centric with all that. And then, yeah, we're going to go ahead and assimilate this season with Donovan Mitchell and RJ Barrett as the cornerstones of the New York Knicks now. Shot tendencies are nice. I'm going to move RJ's up to a 90, honestly. And then on top of that, Derrick Rose, I guess, could shoot a little bit more. Obi Toppin, I wouldn't mind if he became like really good off the bench and maybe like a future starter. Royce O'Neal, his shot tendency sucks, but it's not really going to matter. Then Josh Hart move up to like a 60. But let's go ahead and assimilate this season. If we do stop at the trade deadline to make some kind of Derrick Rose trade where we use his expiring contract to get somebody, I will show you. If not, I will just continue to simulate till we get to the playoffs. But this was a beautiful offseason, I think. So let's see if it, goes well. So at the end of the season, Luka Doncic once again wins MVP. Kenny Chandler is your Rookie of the Year. Anthony is your 6-man on the Magic. Rudy Gobert is Defensive Player on the Jazz. I'm actually interested and curious to see if the Jazz made the playoffs. But unfortunately for us, we did make the playoffs if there wasn't a play-in tournament because we are the 8th seed out east. So barely kind of snuck in there. The Jazz, on the other hand, are not in the playoffs after all that. So that makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, we're in the play-in tournament. So at least we have 2 chances to get in the postseason. How fun would it be if we had a Trae Young versus Donovan Mitchell series? But we'll see. 27 from Donovan Mitchell, 24 from RJ Barrett, 12.5 from Derrick Rose, and then 12 from Josh Hart, 10 from Evan Fournier, and then 9.5 from Obi Toppin. So this is a good start of things. But I think if this offseason we could accomplish getting a 3rd star to add to this roster, that would be the thing we need to do. Because RJ and Donovan Mitchell is nice, but we can get a big man to be that 3rd guy for us. I think that would just elevate this roster even further. But we'll see if we can beat the Toronto Raptors to start things off. So simulating through a game. I'm not even going to simcast. Game here. We do what? Or no, we lose. Never mind. We lost. So, okay. Now we get to see if we get to play Brooklyn. And we get to play the Orlando Magic. So this is to get into the playoffs. Can we beat the Magic, who have a young up-and-coming roster? And no, we get eliminated. So we did not make the playoffs in our first season with Donovan Mitchell, which is really unfortunate. And of course, Mitchell Robinson's all pissed off, which, it is what it is. I feel like Mitchell Robinson always gets mad at me, but whatever. So Mitchell Robinson, all mad. Well, you know what? I'll do you a favor and trade you this offseason. So let's simulate playoffs. And you know what? I'm going to do one more offseason here. Now I'm going to get a 3rd star. I'm going to get a 3rd star. So we have the Atlanta Hawks going on to win it all over the Dallas Mavericks. Minnesota Timberwolves getting eliminated in 7 by the Memphis Grizzlies once again. So the Timberwolves are just used to losing to the Grizzlies. And I don't know. Do we keep our lottery pick here? We did. So we once again have a lottery pick. Then the Jazz actually have the Hornets pick and the 10th pick. So the Jazz, that's a really bright future for them. We get pick number 14. So that's a lottery pick we can once again use in a trade. And we have pick number 28. So 2 first-round picks. And we still have a few young players to make a trade. So I think we are more than capable of making another trade for a 3rd star. Now, I'm going to be looking for power forward center, I think is what I want to find. So power forward center to add to this Knicks roster. Let's see. So obviously, going to be honest, not going to be able to happen. Jokic is not going to happen. Anthony Davis from the Lakers on expiring contract. I don't know how easy he would be to get. But adding Anthony Davis on top of this team would be kind of interesting. But he is kind of older. I don't know. Zion, not going to be able to happen. Cat on expiring contract in Minnesota is interesting. I guess if the Timberwolves weren't committed to him long term. Jaren Jackson, not going to be easy to get. Gobert, not going to trade with the Jazz again. Siakam, another option, but I feel like I've gotten Siakam quite a bit, so I'm not going to do that today. Ayton, Jarrett Allen. Okay, so Jarrett Allen, John Collins. John Collins also another one that would maybe be available to add to the roster. Add him alongside RJ and Donovan Mitchell. He could be interesting. So I think I'm going to break it down between either John Collins, Cat, or Davis. Okay, let's look at the team intel on all three of those teams, though, real quick. So Lakers are rebuilding, and Anthony Davis isn't untouchable. So that would be interesting for sure, as my controller batteries are low. So we got to quickly speed it up, I guess. And then who was the other one I was looking at? Oh, it was John Collins on the Atlanta Hawks, who just won a championship, didn't they? If I remember correctly. Yeah, I don't think they'd be willing to shake up their roster. So then the last one, of course, is the Timberwolves, who just made the playoffs. So I think the most realistic option here is trying to get Anthony Davis. So I'm going to try to get AD. I don't know how easy that's going to really be, but we'll give it a shot. So if the Lakers are going the rebuild route, this is definitely a way to start this trade. It's Mitch Robinson, Trevor Keels, Quentin Grimes, and this 14th overall pick to get Anthony Davis from the Los Angeles Lakers. They do not accept that. Pick number 28 as well. On top of that, they still don't accept. And if I could throw in a future pick in here, I will. And okay, I could throw this 2026 pick in, and they still do not agree to that. So definitely was worth a shot. I could throw Evan Fournier in here as well. I don't know if that sweetens the deal. And no. So that would have been really cool to get Anthony Davis on this team, but I don't think there's really anybody else. I could throw Josh Hart in here technically, but then I'm just kind of tearing my team apart, but I'll offer it. Yeah, they don't accept. Okay. So instead of Anthony Davis, the other one we kind of talked about was Minnesota. I guess if they weren't willing to commit to Cat. So Mitch Robinson, Trevor Keels, Quentin Grimes, this pick, and this pick. And they don't agree to that. Okay. And then I mean, I could throw Josh Hart in there, but I mean, that's just, I don't know. Would they accept that? They don't. So, damn, I thought it would be easier to get like AD, but it's definitely not. That second's probably not going to make a difference, obviously. So, man, I really wanted to try for one of those guys, but it's not going to happen. It sounds like, damn, okay. So, not going to be able to get any of them. That really sucks. I'm still in search for a big, but Anthony Davis and Karl-Anthony Towns was my dream scenario, but we're not going to be able to get either of them, unfortunately. What about Clint Capella? Probably be a little bit easier to get from the Atlanta Hawks. Mitchell Robinson and my 28th pick in this draft. They do not agree to that. They are a championship caliber roster. Will not ship off Capella for nothing, but we throw in Trevor Keels in the deal, and we get Clint Capella to be kind of our brand new center. So Capella definitely makes things interesting around here. Obviously, we shot our shot for AD and Karl-Anthony Towns. Did not work out in our favor. Obi Toppin, I think, could definitely be the starter this year, which I'm totally fine with. And we kind of have a full rotation with Capella joining us. So that was a big move this offseason. And then we have a lot of, well, I didn't even draft. I'm an idiot. I skipped past the draft, whatever. But player options, I'm going to accept all of these. I want to keep everybody around. And then qualifying offers, RJ Barrett, of course, number one priority this offseason to keep him around. And then that's pretty much going to be our offseason. Once we keep RJ Barrett, there's really no reason to keep going. So RJ Barrett gets an offer from the Pistons, but of course we are going to match it. And then we have offer rotation with Capella. So let's see if Clint Capella makes a huge difference. I think he will. I think Capella does pretty damn good in the 2K simulation. So I have confidence that with Clint Capella joining us, we're going to be a much better roster, but we'll see. I mean, we got the 8th seed, missed the playoffs last year. AD or Karl-Anthony Towns would have been freaking awesome, but unfortunately it did not work out that way. So you look at our rotation this year, it's Mitchell, it's Quentin Grimes, it's RJ, it's Russ O'Neal still, Lipkowski, Josh Hart, Obi Toppin, and Burks. So proficiency-wise, we are sitting at a 4-star perimeter-centric. So let's go ahead and see if this team can get into the playoffs. So after that second offseason where we got Clint Capella, it made a world of difference in 2K at least, as we got the first seed in the Eastern Conference. So went from number 8 not making the playoffs and getting eliminated in the play-in tournament to getting into the postseason. So RJ Barrett and Donovan Mitchell did their thing. 29 from RJ and then Donovan Mitchell with 32. That is a dynamic duo if I've ever seen one. Imagine if we were able to add Anthony Davis or Cat on top of this. Man, that would have been fun. But regardless, we get to play the Cleveland Cavaliers in round 1. So you have Garland, Cameron Reddish, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, Colin Sexton. Wow, the Cavaliers have a really good young roster. So this definitely could be a tough series for us. But somebody current round, and we are going to go up 3-2. Can we beat them in 6? No, going to a game 7 against Cleveland, which Not gonna lie to you, I'm a little nervous about. I don't trust 2K in this game 7 against an 8th seed. I have a feeling we're about to lose to an 8th seed here. And is my gut feeling correct, or am I wrong? Let's see if that's the case. Not looking good for us thus far. And we are trying to come back. But yes, we are in fact going to lose to an 8th seed. Donovan Mitchell drops 54. It does not matter. 37 and 36 from Sexton and Garland, and 27 from Mobley. Wow, nobody played a lick of defense in that game 7, and we lose in game 7. So after getting the first seed, we lose. Wow, that's unfortunate. Grizzlies go on to win the championship again. But that is going to be the end of this video. This is only an off-season rebuild. If I was doing a longer rebuild, obviously I'd keep going. But for now, that will do it. So let me know what you guys think, Knicks fans. What do you want to see your team do this offseason? Would you want to pursue Donovan Mitchell? If you did, what would you be willing to give up? I don't know. Let me know. Thank you guys for watching. This is Crushables saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.